Okay, so still on the section on clear comprehension. Okay, so far we have discussed about applying clear comprehension in going forward and in returning, in looking straight ahead and in looking away, in bending and in stretching. The next, the Buddha says, Sanghati Atta Jivara Dharane Sampajana Kari Hoti. Okay? So it means in bearing or in carrying the outer ropes, the bow and ropes, one applies or practices clear comprehension. So, in bearing ropes and carrying outer ropes and bow. So here, dharana, this word dharana, it can mean carrying or it can mean wearing. Okay, this is one of those Pali words that has multiple meanings. Okay, so dharana. Dharana can also mean remembering. Yeah, you bear in mind, carry it in your mind, you remember. So, but here in this context, it means either wearing the ropes, or carrying the outer ropes and the bow. So here the example is given by the Buddha is in terms of the monks, because usually in the sutta the Buddha addresses the monks directly. So he gives examples that are relevant to the monks. So monk has got 3 ropes. Okay? So, and usually we go around wearing 2 of these ropes. So when you see a monk, most of the time they'll be wearing these 2 ropes. First one is the Antaravasaka, the inner rope, or what we sometimes call the lower rope. So this refers to the sarong, that's wrapped around the waist. And then the second one that we wear is also this one. This is called Uttara Sangha, the upper rope. Okay? So usually when you see a monk, they are wearing these 2 ropes, the inner or the lower rope and the upper rope. Okay? So the upper rope covers the upper body. And then there's another rope called the Sanghati. The Sanghati is a thick rope. It's double layered. Okay? So you put 2 pieces of rope together and sew it together as one. You get a Sanghati. It's double layered. Okay? So the Sanghati, because it's a thick rope, we usually use it as a blanket. When you're sleeping, you use it as a blanket. Or on cold days, we use it as a shawl to keep warm. Wrap it around the body to keep warm. Okay? So usually we use it for these 2 purposes. Originally, the Buddha meant for the Sanghati to keep warm. Okay? So, So happen on other occasions. When you're not sleeping, you don't use it as a blanket. When it's on a hot day, you don't use it as a shawl. So on other occasions, the Sanghati is usually kept aside. Okay? So, or you carry it around with you. So you fold it up nicely and then you carry it around. Sometimes you see monks have this extra rope on the shoulder, a long rope folded nicely and then put it over the shoulder. No, that is usually the Sangati, the extra double layered rope. Yeah, so because this Sangati is usually not used, so here the Buddha says Sangati, Pata, Chivara. Chivara means ropes. Sangati is the outer rope. So Chivara here refer to the other two ropes, which we wear all the time. Okay, so Sangati, sometimes we wear, sometimes we carry it around. So, and then Pata is the bowl. Okay? So in the Sangati Pata Chivara Dharane Sampajana Karihoti, in wearing the ropes and in carrying the outer rope and bowl, he applies clear comprehension. Now, to generalize this instruction, because the Buddha gives this instruction very dealing specifically with the monks, but to generalize this instruction, this means the yogi applies clear comprehension when putting on, wearing your clothing, or when you're carrying your personal belongings around. Okay? So for lay people, for lay yogis, so when you put on your clothing, so put on your trousers, or you tie your sarong, or you put on your shirt or your t-shirt or whatever you're wearing, and by extension also, it means removing it. Okay, so and also, so on this occasion, you apply clear comprehension. You know. Okay. Also, when you are taking and carrying your personal belonging around, your water bottle, your food tray, when you are during breakfast and lunchtime. So when you join the food queue, you carry your food tray or your plate around. So you apply clear comprehension. Also when you're carrying other things around, like some yogis come here to this hall, they carry their meditation cushion around. So you apply clear comprehension. Okay? Yeah, and you take your shawl around, and early morning when it's cold, you have to bring the shawl around. So when you wear it, when you take it, when you wear it, apply clear comprehension. Okay? So generally, each time you put on an item of clothing, you wear it, or you're bringing your personal belonging around, carrying them around, you apply clear comprehension. You have to do so by noting with clear comprehension. In this case also, there's 4 kinds of clear comprehension. Right? Clear comprehension, Sattaka Sampajana, clear comprehension of what is beneficial or what is the purpose. And then Sappaya Sampajana, clear comprehension of suitability, Gochara Sampajana, clear comprehension of domain, and Asamoha Sampajana, clear comprehension of non-delusion. Now, in the case of wearing robe or item of clothing, so Sattaka Sampajanya would mean when you wear the robe, when you put on the robe, so when you put on your clothing, you have to consider clearly in your mind, what is the purpose you wear this clothing, what is the benefit of wearing this clothing. Okay? And this is often mentioned by the Buddha in the suttas, and also reflected upon, recited and reflected upon by monks every day. So patisankayoni sochivaram patisewami yawadeva sita sapadikataya unasa padikataya dansam akasa wadada basari sabasam pasanam padikataya yawadeva hiriko pina patichadanadam. So this means reflecting wisely, reflecting carefully, considering carefully. So use these robes, or in the case of a lay person, you wear your clothing. What is the purpose? What is the benefit? So the first one, sita sapatikataya, for protection against cold. So on a cold day, so you wear clothing in order to protect your body against cold. Cold day, you don't wear anything, you go naked. No, you be exposed to the cold. You catch a cold, you fall sick. So when you wear clothing, it protects you from cold. So this is one purpose, one benefit of wearing clothing. Unasa patikataya, protection against heat also. So imagine you go into, say, under the sun. It's very hot. You go underneath the sun without protection. So the heat will burn your skin, right? So you'll be exposed. Or you may even fall sick. Right? So you wear clothing in order to protect also from heat. This is especially clear those people who stay in hot desert. So you see people in hot desert, do they go around naked even though it's so hot? No. You see the Bedouins in the Sahara desert. So they cover themselves completely. Even the head also they cover, the whole body. So they wear long sleeve. Because why? It's very hot to protect from the heat. So this is another purpose, reason why we wear clothing. Dansa makasa, and so on. So to protect also against stinging insects, mosquitoes, catflies, and so on. So wearing item of clothing also protects against such stinging insects. You don't believe, you go and walk in the forest behind. Don't wear anything. You come back with all mosquito bites all around. But when we cover the body with clothing, you wear long sleeve, long pants, so you cover up completely. Then it offers some protection against these insects. You won't get sting so much. Right? Also protection from the wind, wind and sun. So when the wind blows, so you don't wear anything. So the dust, the sand will all be blown onto your body. You go, when you're in the desert and there's a sandstorm and you don't wear anything. So be in a lot of pain when the sun hits the body. Yeah. So, so clothing also protects from the wind, from the sun. So sun, we mentioned just now, the heat of the sun. So you have to protect when you go underneath the sun. Otherwise you get sunburn. In some cases, severe sunburn, dehydrated even. So you have to wear clothing to protect from sun. Sarisapa, creepy crawlies, creeping creatures. Protect against creeping creatures like snakes, scorpions, lice, and so on. So clothing also protects from these creatures. Okay? And last one, hirikopina patichadanata. To cover the body for the sake of decency. Okay? So, because we are human beings, we are not animals. Okay? So animals go around naked. Okay? But human beings, we are civilized creatures. Okay? So it's not proper to go around naked. So we have to cover up ourselves for decency. Okay? That's why for this reason we have dress code, right? You go to especially for example, when you come to when you visit a monastery or temples or Buddhist centers, so there's a dress code, right? So you can't come to a monastery, temple, or Buddhist center wearing your swimming trunk. It is not proper. It is considered not decent. Right? Swimming trunk belong to the swimming pool. So you have to wear appropriate clothing. So when you come to Buddhist centers, so you have to dress decently, neatly. Not just decently, but also neatly. Okay? So don't come dress up very shabbily, so like a hippie. So dress neatly. Okay? So it's not to say that you dress fancily. Neatly means just be neat. One of the things I've noticed about the Burmese Buddhists is that when they go to temple, monasteries, they always dress neatly. It may not be very expensive clothing, but they are always neat. So of course you should be reasonably covered when you go to a Buddhist center, temple, monastery, and reasonably covered. So don't wear anything showy or too fanciful. So you're not dressed for party. So wear something plain and simple. Okay. So as befitting practice of the Dhamma. Okay. So for yogis, so there you have the 8 precepts. You observe 8 precepts. So that means no adornment. You don't wear anything to adorn the body. No makeup. Right? So no jewelries. So when you're meditating, you're observing precepts. So you remove all these items of jewelry, necklaces, rings, and so on. Okay? Just wear plain item of clothing. So a standard attire for yogis. So either a plain sarong or trousers, plain trousers that extend below the knees. Okay. So as for colors, usually white or brown. So, but other plain colors also, like black or dark blue, is also acceptable. Okay. Yeah. So usually 8 preceptors will wear white. In Burma they wear brown, brown sarong. Okay. Actually, I feel brown is more practical because the sarong is you wear is quite near to the floor, and you actually sit down with it. Okay, so it gets dirty very easily. So you wear white, it gets dirty very, very fast. Then you have to spend a lot of time washing and washing and washing. Okay? So, so brown is more practical. You don't have to wash so often. Okay. So don't wear any striking colors. So, yeah. And then for your upper body, so ladies, you can wear a plain blouse. So, and for both ladies and the gentlemen, you can wear a shirt or a t-shirt. In this case, white color is preferred. So for the upper body. Okay. And plain, without any design, is So these are the purpose. Why we wear clothing? What is the purpose? What's the benefit? So and if we reflect clearly on this purpose, why we wear this clothing. So reflect clearly on it. Okay? It's only for protection against cold, against heat, against stinging insects, and so on. So if we keep this clearly in our mind every time we wear an item of clothing, then we do not become too fussy about what we wear. Okay? Any piece of clothing which serve this purpose, these purposes will do. Okay? Then you become easily contented. So you don't spend too much time distracted from your practice trying to search for the perfect item of clothing. And then you have to spend a lot of time in shopping. Sometimes people spend a whole day shopping. At the end of the day, they only get one shirt. Because they are so fussy. This one cannot, that one cannot. Try on this, try on that. So many. But you reflect clearly on the purpose. Why you wear clothing. Only for protection against cold, heat, stinging insects, the wind, the sun, and so on. And only to cover the body for the sake of decency. So you reflect like this. Then any clothing that serve these purposes will do, as long as they serve the purpose. Then you become easily contented. Okay? Otherwise, you'll be a very fussy person. So there's clear comprehension of the purpose or benefit. Sataka sampajana. But this alone is not enough. We must also consider the suitability of the clothing. This is called sapaya, sampajanya, clear comprehension of what is suitable. So if you're a person who have what they call a hot body, warm body, naturally warm body person. So there are such person whom even in an air-conditioned room, temperature set to, let's say, 16 degrees Celsius, they still sweat. So that's because their body is naturally warm. Okay? So for such a person, so clothing that is suitable, those that are made of material that are cooling, not too thick. Okay? On the other hand, if you are susceptible to cold, you have this cold body, like myself, so very easily you catch a cold because your body is already cold. So you go to a cold room, air-conditioned room, you easily catch a cold. So for such a person, item of clothing should be made of warmer materials, thick material, okay? Not too thin, okay? Not too thick also, sometimes too thick also. When it gets really hot also you feel hot, okay? But not too thin, because when you have cool body, you catch cold very easily. Okay? So it must be reasonably thick enough to protect you from cold. Okay? If you are a person who sweats a lot, then the item of clothing must be made of material that are absorbent. So you wear non-absorbent material, you're going to have a lot of problems. You develop, your skin will always be damp, and then you develop skin diseases. So you have to wear materials that are absorbent. And generally, in cold weather, then it's suitable to wear thick clothing. So or put on extra layers. So put on an extra cardigan or jacket, or put on a shawl, wear socks, wear head cover. So when it's cold, so it's suitable to put on extra layer. Right? So, however, when it's hot, then you need to wear thinner clothing. Okay? Even down to just a piece of t-shirt. Okay? Yeah, but for yogis, doesn't mean you can remove everything. Okay? So when you're meditating with other people, as I said, there's a dress code in a meditation center. Okay, so still you need to at least have a piece of t-shirt on, and trousers, of course. Yeah. Yogis' clothing also should not be too thin, made of this thin material, so thin that you can actually see through. This is not suitable. I have actually seen people wearing this. This is not only for yogis, even generally for devotees coming to a temple or monastery. Okay? So, one of the purposes of wearing clothing is to cover a body body for decency. But if your clothing made of material that is so thin that you see through, there's no decency in that. So also worn out clothing is not suitable. So some people think, oh, we must practice contentment. So contentment doesn't mean you wear like a beggar, torn here and there. No? So it must be neat also. So worn out clothing is not suitable because it is easily torn, right? So when it's torn, you need to spend time patching it up, darning it, sewing it. It takes a lot of time to maintain it. Okay? So that's a distraction from your practice. Okay? So it's not suitable. So you should wear clothing that is still have reasonable strength. So clothing made of expensive, fine materials are also not suitable. Okay? Because, for example, you wear clothing made of silk, so you become attached to it, right? So you want to protect it, or you're very afraid that you'll be torn and so on. So you become very attached to it. Also, you'll be worried about it. So when you wash and then you hang it to dry, you'll be very worried. Somebody might steal it. Then you'll be sitting there waiting for it to dry. So this is not suitable. Okay? So clear comprehension of what is suitable. Basically, just wear something that is very simple and in good condition. Okay? Simple, plain. So, and that fits the nature of your body, whether it's warm or it's cold. It also fits the weather. And then next is Gochara Sampajanya, clear comprehension of domain. So this means when you are putting on the item of clothing, you should do so with mindfulness, with mindful noting, clearly noting the process, the physical activities of putting on the clothing. So you do so with continuous noting, never allowing the mind to leave this domain of noting, domain of Satipatthana, the domain of the yogi. So when you want to put on the clothing first, the intention to take the clothing, right? So you note the intention. Then as the hand, the arms stretch out to take, you have to note, take it, stretching. When it touches it, not touching. And there's intention to take hold of it, you note the intention. As the hand take hold of it, you note taking. Then when the intention to bring it near to you, to note the intention, and then as the arm bend to bring it clear, you have to note bringing. Then once you bring it near enough, then you want to start wearing it, right? So you have to note the intention to wear, the intention to spread out the clothing. So, and then spreading it out when you're putting it on. So you have to note. There are many steps involved, right? When you put on clothing, right? Do you know? Because you have to spread out, right? Then what do you do? So for lay people, you put, let's say a shirt. You have to put you have to slip your arms into the sleeve, right? First one side, and then you bring it over the other side, and then you slip the other arms inside the other sleeve. Then after that, you have to pull it in front, and then you have to fasten it, button up. Then after that, you have to adjust it so that it's neat. So sometimes you tuck it in. So all this should be done with noting each intention that arises and each movement that arises as a result of the intention. So you have to note carefully, continuously, the entire process of wearing your shirt or whatever item of clothing. So to do all this with continuous noting, this is called Gochara Sampajanya, clear comprehension of domain. You are remaining within the domain of Satipatthana. You don't allow the mind to stray outside of the domain of Satipatthana. Okay? So you don't allow the mind to stray to other thoughts. You don't allow the mind to be distracted, looking outside what is around. So your whole attention is just on the act of wearing that clothing. Okay? This clear comprehension of domain. So keeping 100% attention, 100% mindfulness, that's called clear comprehension of domain. And then the fourth is asamoha sampajanya, clear comprehension of non-delusion. So proceeding from Gochara Sampajanya, clear comprehension of domain. So as a yogi notes continuously, so gradually the mindfulness, the concentration develops. So the clarity of mind also develops. Okay? So at some point when the mind is clear enough, yogi is able to discern clearly that there is no person here that is wearing this clothing. Rather, there's just this series of intention, right? Giving rise, each intention giving rise to nature of the wind element, the firmness, the tightness, the pushing, pulling, and so on, which give rise to motion in the body, which a behavior of which we call wearing the clothing. Okay? So in other words, there's just mental physical nature present. There's no person here. That's called a person wearing this clothing. Okay? So realizing in this way that there's just a mental physical process going on continuously. There being no person, no self here. This is called asamoha sampajanya, clear comprehension of non-delusion. Okay? So in no way is the yogi deluded under the delusion that there is a person here. He discerns clearly that there is just mental physical process going on. Okay? So also the yogi realized that because of this continuous noting, and the yogi realized that although conventionally in everyday life we say that the clothing covers the body, right? So but the yogi realized that in truth what is there is just mere material elements covering another heap of material elements. Okay? Conventionally we say the clothing cover the body, but in truth the yogi, because of the continuous noting, he realized that in truth actually there's just this mere material element, a collection of material elements covering another collection of material elements. So when a yogi can realize in this way that that's just material elements, then the yogi will not become elated or happy when he get fine or expensive clothing. Okay? Nor where the yogi becomes sad or dejected when he get a low quality cheap clothing. So our mind remain equanimous, because regardless of whether it's fine and expensive or whether it is low quality or cheap, they are just mere elements. Right? So so just as the earth is not elated, not happy, not dejected, whatever you throw on the earth. Right? So you can throw flowers or perfume or sandalwood on the earth, or you can throw rubbish or urine or feces on the earth. Right? The earth is not going to be happy or dejected. The earth does not change at all, whatever you throw at it, whether good or bad. So similarly, the mind of the yogi, which realizes that it's just a heap of elements, a group of material, a collection of material elements covering another group of material elements. So the yogi realized like this, the mind becomes just like the earth, firm and stable. It means steady, equanimous. It does not become happy when they get fine, expensive clothing, nor become dejected when they get otherwise. Okay? So such realization also comes under asamoha sampajanya, clear comprehension of non-delusion, because the yogi is under no delusion at all about the true nature of the elements. Now, in the case of the bowl, just now what we just discussed is about the ropes. So in the case of the bowl, also there's a four clear comprehension. So sataka sampajanya means considering clearly the purpose, the benefit, why you use the bowl. Okay? For a monk, so the bowl is used in order to obtain and collect alms food. Right? So that's the whole purpose why we use the bowl. Okay? Also to hold the food while you're eating. So that's the only purpose why we use the bowl. Okay? So that's the benefit. So because without a bowl, we cannot go for alms round without a bowl. It's not allowed. Okay, so yeah. Then you cannot collect food. Then you don't have food. Then you cannot eat. Then you grow hungry. So so there's the benefit of using the bowl. So even it is allowed to go on arms round without a bowl. So then without a bowl, you have to use your hand, right? So you not collect enough to eat. So for yogis, lay yogis, so instead of bowl, you have your food tray or your plate. You use it for a similar purpose when you're during the meal time, right? You join the queue, you collect your food. So you don't have the food tray or the plate. You have nothing to hold the food, right? So you cannot use a hand. Right? You use a hand, one hand, you put eggs, another hand you put vegetable. Where are you going to put your rice? Right? So you need a food tray or a plate. So, and that's our whole purpose, right? Yeah. So if you reflect clearly on why you use your food tray, your plate, then you'll not be so fussy. In the case of monks, you'll not be so fussy about the bowl. Oh, I must have this material, stainless steel, how many percent pure, and so on, how many inch, what style, the Thai style, Burmese style, what. A bowl is just a bowl, just to hold your food. That's for you to go for arms round. So it doesn't have to be very expensive, good-looking bowl. So for a yogi also, a tray is just a tray, right? So you not be fussy. Oh, I must have this fancy plate with this design and that design. So yeah, as long as it serves the purpose to hold your food for you, it's usable. So you use it, then you can become easily contented. Yes. So it's not just for food tray. Actually, for anything that you use. If you can consider clearly in your mind why you use it, why you need it, then your life will be very simple. You can cut down a lot of nonsense from your life. So, yeah, you live a very simple life, not distracted by a lot of unnecessary pursuit. So, so clear comprehension of purpose and benefit is very necessary for a yogi's to cut down distraction. Then there's sapaya, sampajanya, clear comprehension of suitability. What is suitable? So in the commentary it says, if you're a weak person, then a heavy bowl is not suitable. In the Buddha's time, bowls are made of clay or iron. If you are fortunate, you get iron. Iron is the in thing in those days. There was the Iron Age, beginning of the Iron Age. So iron was the latest technology at that time. So you're fortunate you get an iron bowl. Otherwise you get a simple clay bowl. But both this material can be very heavy. So if you are, and you know, monks travel a lot. In those days they travel by foot. And when they travel, they have to carry the bowl with them. So if you're a weak person and you carry a heavy bowl, you tire very easily. You won't be able to travel very far before you get tired. So a heavy bowl is not suitable. you have to look for a bowl that is lighter. So lighter also means it will not be so thick. Yeah. Also, just as in the case of ropes, a bowl that is worn out or damaged in a few places is also not suitable. Okay? And so clay bowls sometimes can crack. Iron bowl also sometimes. So I think in those days the technology was not very good. So even the iron clay also sometimes can have crack here and there. Then they have to repair. They have to take wires and tie up those cracks. So, and even after tying up, because of the cracks, so the food can easily get stuck there, difficult to wash. So you don't wash properly, after a while, the food rot there. So it needs a lot of maintenance to repair the bowl, to wash it. So this is not suitable. You spend too much time looking after the bowl. Okay? Then it says a bright bowl that shines, a bowl that shines brightly, as if it's a jewel, also not suitable. It can cause attachment to arise for the owner of the bowl. Look at my bowl, it's so beautiful. Day and night you spend looking at it, polishing it. It becomes more and more shining. So it also invites the envy of others. Then they think of stealing, and then you have to protect it. And you have fear that somebody will kind of come and steal it away or rob you of the bowl. So such bowls are not suitable for a monk. Okay? That's why usually monks nowadays we have stainless steel bowl, right? And when it's given to us by lay devotees, it's stainless steel, so it's like what color? The stainless steel color, right? So sometimes it can be very shining, very nice. So what do we do with it? We make it dull. So we burn it in fire in order to oxidize it, so that it turns a dull grayish color. Or sometimes we apply oil and then we bake it. So you apply oil on the surface, you bake it, then it turns into some very dark blackish color. So to make it look cheap and plain, dull. So that sometimes if you don't want to burn it because it's too much trouble to burn it, you have to start a fire, So you just paint it, spray black color. So not the shiny black color, the matted color. So to make it dull. So it's dull, you don't get attached to it. You also don't fear other people come and steal it. So sampajanya is suitable. So whatever items that you use, whatever things that you use also, you consider what is suitable for a yogi. So it should be plain and simple. Okay. So when you yogi meditation cushion, plain and simple. Okay? Don't go and buy a throne. So don't have fancy kind of meditation cushion. Make it dull, so that people don't come and look at it, or then some people might think I'm stealing it. Huh? So, yeah, once in Burma, I saw one yogi brought a covering, yeah, for the cushion fur. Goodness, it's not suitable for a yogi. Yeah. Then Gochara Sampajanya, clear comprehension of domain. So that means when you take up the bowl, pick it up, carry it around, so you do so, noting continuously, noting intention to take, as the arm stretches out, as the hand touches it, as you pick it up, as it carry near to you. So you do so, noting continuously each intention, each movement that arise. This is called Gochara Sampajanya, keeping within the domain of Satipatthana. Then Asamoha Sampajanya, clear comprehension or non-delusion. So due to Gochara Sampajana, because you note continuously, then when the mind is clear enough, and begin to discern clearly that there is no person here who is picking up the ball, who is carrying it around. There's really just a series of intention giving rise to a series of motion. Each intention giving rise to nature wind element, which give rise to this motion called taking up, carrying around. Okay? So that's just mental physical nature, a process, a mental physical process. No person here, no being, no self here. So realizing in this way is called Asamoha Sampajanya, clear comprehension and non-delusion. And also, when a yogi realizes that even though conventionally we say that the hand is taking up the bowl, but the yogi, because of the continuous noting of mental physical nature, he realizes that in truth actually there's just physical elements, a group of physical elements picking up another group of physical elements. So when a yogi realizes in this way, again, his mind does not become elated or dejected. Whatever kind of bowl that he got, whether it's a good bowl or otherwise, so he does not become happy or sad about it. After all, they are just mere elements, right? As long as it serves the purpose, it can hold the food and help you to collect the food. That's all. It doesn't need to be very fancy or good. Okay? They are just elements. And then in the commentary also, they get this simile about the highest kind of clear comprehension. It says here, when kindly people, people who are kind, when they see in refuge for the helpless, unfortunate persons, unfortunate people, with their hands and feet cut off. And so this probably some kind of a hospital. So people there with their hands and feet cut off, with blood, pus, and many maggots in the open wounds. So when they saw this, they gave these unfortunate people bandages and medicine in containers. And then some of the miserable sufferers in the refuge, may get thick bandages and containers that are not very shapely. Others may get thin bandages and shapely containers. But none of the sufferer will feel elated or depressed about the kind of bandages and containers they receive. That is because they merely want cloth to cover their wounds and containers for keeping medicine. So as long as they get this, they are happy enough. Right? So they do not need the bandages to be very good, thick bandages. They do not need the medicine container to be very shapely and nice. As long as they get a bandage to cover their wounds, a container to keep their medicine, then it serves their purpose. They are happy. Okay. So it says, now the bhikkhu who regards the rope as a bandage and the bowl as a medicine container and alms food as medicine in the bowl, through such clear comprehension and non-delusion, such a bhikkhu should be taken as a person endowed with the highest clear comprehension. So if you can, because of their clear noting, you see that all are just elements. Okay? So you can regard the ropes as just something to cover this heap of elements. And the bowl is just another heap of element to hold the food. And the food is also just another heap of element which is like medicine for the body. So you can just regard it in this way. And this, remember, comes from clear comprehension and non-delusion. Because you are noting continuously, you realize the true nature, this mental, physical nature within yourself. And you realize in this way, then you are a person, a yogi with the highest clear comprehension. That means you are able to apply this knowledge in such a way that you become totally detached from this body. Okay? Totally detached from whatever items belonging that you use. Seeing them as just mere elements, mere collection of elements. So this is the highest clear comprehension. Okay, so we stop here today. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Buddham Pujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Dhammam Pujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Sangham Pujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Mata Pitunam Pujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Acharyanam Pujemi. Adha imaya Patibadaya Jaram Ranama Parimochisami. Idame Punyam Asawakaya Vaham Hodu. Idame Punyam Nibbanasa Pajayo Hodu. Idame Silam Magaphalanyanasa Pajayo Hodu. Imam no Punya Bhagam Sabbasadanam Dema. Imam no Punya Bhagam Sabbasadanam Dema. Imam no punya bhagam sabbasatanam dema sadhu sadhu sadhu. So may all of you be well, happy and peaceful always. May you always be healthy, be safe, be strong. May you all be able to practice the Dhamma continuously, without any obstacle, without any trouble. And soon may all of you be able to experience the unconditioned peace of Nibbana through your practice of Dhamma.